Hey there, kids. This is Reveal Math Lesson 12.1. Let's take a look. It says this, you can use representation. And whenever they say representation, they're just talking about drawing a model or making a quick pick or using a number line or something like that. You can use representations to understand tenths, okay, and hundredths. Now, tenths just means that there's a denominator of 10. Hundredths means there's a denominator of 100, okay? How can you represent 70 cents as a fraction of a dollar? Okay, well, usually we don't write money as a fraction. Usually we write it as, if you're talking about 70 cents, you can write it like this, 70, right? And then you can put the cent sign, that's 70 cents. If you want to write it with the dollar sign goes on the left right here. There's no dollars, so we put a 0 and 70 cents, okay? You can write it like those two right there usually, but here they want you to write it as a fraction of a dollar. Now you know that a dollar has 10 dimes to it. So this would be like 7 out of 10 dimes, okay? And they write it as 7 tenths, okay? This is like 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, okay? Over here, they got it also, and this would be writing it like pennies, okay? We know that there's 100 pennies in a dollar, and so here they have 70 of them shaded in, and that's 70 hundredths of a dollar, okay? Both of these are equal. They're both the same thing, right? They're the same amount. 7 dimes is the same amount as 70 pennies, and you can see that there's the same amount of black area here as there is over here. They've just got this divided up into smaller pieces. This is divided up into 100 pieces, and this is only divided up into 10. Kids, you're learning how to write fractions in tenths and hundredths. Let's continue to look here. It says this, which fraction does the grid represent? Okay, well, okay, this is great. This is the same thing that they just showed you back here, didn't they? Okay, so, all right. Well, anyway, this is, yeah, they have this written as 70 hundredths, okay? And you could have also said that this is 7 tenths, okay? These two things are equivalent fractions, and the reason is if we multiplied the numerator by 10, we'd get 70. And if we multiplied the denominator by 10, we get 100. Okay, and we learned earlier this year that if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same thing, you get equivalent or equal fractions. Okay, kids, you're learning how to write fractions in tenths and hundredths. All right, let's try another one right here. Well, this right here, there's a total of 10 columns going across, and 9 of them are shaded in. So this is 9 out of 10 are shaded in. But if they were to divide all these, divide them up like this into 100 parts, okay, go across and make 10 going this way right here where each one is smaller, well, then we'd end up with the same amount of here as 90 out of 100. Okay, it's the same amount that's shaded. Nothing has changed. They just divided it into smaller parts. Now we can tell that these are equivalent fractions because we can multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, okay? And we get equivalent fractions. 9 times 10 is 90. 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, if these two numbers are the same, that's an equivalent fraction. This is like 9 dimes, 90 cents. This is like 90 pennies, 90 cents. Kids, you're learning how to write fractions in tenths and hundredths. Okay, it says, how can you express the fraction as an equivalent or equal fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100? Completed. Okay, well, you could go like this. You could say 10 times what is 100? Right, 10 times 10 is 100. And 4 times, I'm sorry, 4, I already gave you the answer, darn it. 4 times 10 is 40. Okay, so a 4 goes there. 40 pennies is the same thing as 4 dimes. Let's try it again. All right. 10 times what is 100? Okay. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. Now, this is going to be strange. Okay. 17 times 10 is 170. Okay, so that's 170 hundredths. Now this right here is an improper fraction. A 100-year-old should not be carrying around a 170-year-old. You know what I mean? All right, but we can fix this, and we could say it like this. We could say that 170, okay, is the same thing as 170, okay? Now these are all both the hundredths, so it's 100 hundredths, and that's 70 hundredths, okay? We know that 100 hundredths is 1, and 70 hundredths is 70 hundredths. So that's the same thing as 1 and 70 hundredths, or like $1.70. This would be a whole dollar right here because 100 pennies make a whole dollar, and this would be 70 pennies. So 1 and 70 hundredths. You could also write it as 1 and 7 dimes or 7 tenths. That's equal to, okay? All those things are equal. Kids, you're learning how to write fractions in tenths and hundredths. Okay, today in class we're looking at workbook pages 133 and 134. We're looking at practice pages 123 and 124. Okay, and on the Friday quiz it asks you to model what 6 tenths looks like. Okay, well, not too hard. Let's use this color right here. Okay, there's 1 tenth if we shade it in, right? I did a bad job. There's 2 tenths right there. There's 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths. That's half of it, isn't it? 5 is half of 10. We've shaded in half. And here is 6 tenths right there. It's a little bit more than half. Now this one right here says 40 hundredths, and it doesn't matter which way you go. You could go this way right here. So there's 10 hundredths like that. Okay? There's 20. There's 30. Right? And there's 40 out of 100. That's 40 hundredths, okay? Kids, you're learning how to write fractions in tenths and hundredths. Go ahead and give it a try. If you need help, come see us. We will help you. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.